The best of WWE in 2024. Let's watch.
Off is the direction you can.
The last year has been wild for the WWE, and in today's video, we're going to take a look at the best of WWE in 2024, starting with the best match. We've seen a lot of great wrestling matches with the WWE the past year. The nominees are CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. These two had a fantastic feud that brutally culminated inside Hell in a Cell. The next nominee is a tag team match between Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. This was 45 minutes of pure chaos from four of the biggest names in the business. It was also The Rock's in-ring return after 11 years. I think he did a really good job and proved that he could still go in that ring. Many fans say this was the best match of WrestleMania 40. If not that, others will argue and say that the next nominee was actually the best match of WrestleMania, and that is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, part 2 for the WWE Championship. But is it the best match of 2024? AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes at Backlash also makes the case for being the best bout of the year. These two clearly had all the chemistry in the world, and the loud France crowd only made it better. Coming back to WrestleMania 40, and there's another banger that happened on that show. It was Gunther defending his IC title against Sami Zayn. There was no better way to end this historic title reign than by having this match take place. We also have another Gunther match as a nominee. Gunther versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam deserves to be considered one of the best matches of 2024. I actually think they stole that show at SummerSlam. And then finally, we have Gunther versus Randy Orton in Berlin. This was a good old classic wrestling match that the next generation of wrestlers should study for years to come. And the winner of the match goes to CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at WWE Bad Blood. This match single-handedly restored the prestige of the Hell in a Cell match. It was violent, it was bloody, and it was a match that was just absolutely perfect. We're never going to forget about this classic 5-star match. The next award is for the best heel turn of 2024. There's been a lot of great ones. Let's get to the nominees. The first one is Dominic Mysterio when he betrayed Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. He's the first heel to turn heel. I've never seen someone turn more heel, but somehow Dom did it. The next one is probably the saddest heel turn. It's the New Day turning on Big E. They told him they did not need him anymore because he was basically broken and useless. This actually hurt a lot, and I hope it leads to a Big E return sometime down the line. After that, we have The Rock turning heel at the WrestleMania press conference after slapping Cody Rhodes in the face. Then we have Kevin Owens, who shocked everyone when he betrayed Cody Rhodes in the parking lot after Bad Blood went off the air. KO's heel turn makes a lot of sense. Who's upset with Cody for teaming with Roman Reigns after the Bloodline has been making Kevin's life hell for many years now. And finally, we have Liv Morgan, who turned earlier this year. She attacked Rhea Ripley and then took her title. She took her dom-dom, and eventually she even took her faction. The winner of this award goes to The Rock. The final boss was one of the greatest runs we've ever witnessed. I think it might even be the best version of The Rock in the history of WWE. This man was going around slapping people, dropping F-bombs.
Because this is what happens when you with the final boss. You know The Rock, I don't around. Okay, you count, you're fired.
Calling crowds a bunch of addicts and fat asses.
#1 city for cocaine and meth use is Phoenix, Arizona.
And made Cody Rhodes bleed. I'd even say that this might be the best heel turn of all time. On to the next award, and we have the best rivalry of the year. The first nominee is Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. These two carried over their feud from 2023 into 2024, and we got a big rematch. I think it's important to include this feud considering the importance of that title match. That's not the only Cody Rhodes nominee. We also have his feud with The Rock, which was even better. The final boss made it his mission to destroy Cody Rhodes after he refused to give him the WWE Championship match. It would lead to a fun road to WrestleMania with The Rock assaulting Cody, throwing trash cans, and hearing this line.
Or is it just going to be LDS, little syndrome?
The next nominee is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. This feud
Drew
started
was
in January
good
and
this
it
year.
ended in October. It was full of
think
hate
he's one of my
and bad
faves
blood.
this year.
McIntyre kept getting screwed and things got personal with a bracelet. We also got a strap match as well as the Hell in a Cell fight. After that, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan deserves a nomination. It's hard to top a love triangle with Dominic Mysterio. And the last nomination goes to the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. We got the rise of Solo Sikoa. Then there was the addition of Jacob Fatu, and then the fun reunion of the OG Bloodline. That was a great rivalry and storyline, but the winner has to be Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. A close second would probably be The Rock and Cody Rhodes. We saw some really good pay-per-views in 2024. Here are the three nominees. The first one is WrestleMania 40. SummerSlam also deserves a spot because there were so many twists and turns, and the last nomination goes to Backlash for the quality of wrestling in that ring, as well as the greatest crowd of all time. While SummerSlam and Backlash were some of the best nights of the year, it does not top WrestleMania 40. We had a bunch of great wrestling. The best stories would culminate at the grandest stage of them all. There were plenty of shocking returns. The Rock competed in that squared circle. Damian cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and Cody Rhodes finished his story. This card was amazing from top to bottom. I hope WrestleMania 41 can be as good as 40. WWE was full of some unforgettable moments in 2024. There were so many that we have 17 nominations for the best moment. The first one is this F20 from Oba Femi. I thought the F5 was cool until I saw this move. Next up is the New Day turning on Big E. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston betrayed their best friend because he broke his neck. That's a crazy reason to hate someone, but hey, it was an emotional moment that was one of the best things we saw in 2024. Although the White Six lost a lot of momentum, they had one of the coolest debuts of all time. The visuals of Chad Gable and everyone else in Gorilla was awesome to see. We can't forget about Chelsea Green's iconic Money in the Bank moments. This looked like it hurt a lot. There's two Bronson Reed nominees. One of them is when he hit Seth Rollins with 6 tsunamis in a row. The crowd was eating it up and it instantly turned him into a star. The other moment is when we saw the tsunami with Braun Strowman on top of the car. Dominic Mysterio betraying Rhea Ripley and kissing Liv Morgan earns a nomination as one of the best moments of the year. The next one is The Rock assaulting Cody Rhodes backstage. He threw a garbage can, made him bleed, and he didn't even stop when the camera stopped rolling. Jacob Fatu making his debut has been something we all wanted to see for years now, and it was exactly what we wanted. The entire Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Rock segment at the WrestleMania press conference is a nominee. We had Cody coming out calling it BS.
Is bullshit.
Then he got slapped, and The Rock told Triple H to deal with it or else.
Have him talk about our family again. Slap his teeth out of his mouth. Oh.
That was the best way to get people excited for WrestleMania. CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle was the best camera work I've ever seen. Kevin Owens turning heel on Cody Rhodes was really great stuff. It was unexpected and it got everyone talking on the night of Bad Blood, and it was really cool to see that WWE relied on the fans capturing this moment. Everyone was critical of Damian's run as the Money in the Bank holder until he finally cashed it in on Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Jey Uso's entrance in France is an all-time moment. Paul Heyman saying this to Solo Sikoa,
You are not my
is an underrated moment. It then led to a beatdown, but I think it was worth it to tell Solo to f off. Roman Reigns stopping CM Punk from entering the War Games match went viral for a reason. All of those were great moments, but they did not beat the last 5 minutes of WrestleMania 40 featuring the Avengers. We had John Cena coming back and going face to face with The Rock. Then The Undertaker showed up to take care of business with the final boss. Seth Rollins got his receipt and took a chair shot to the back, and Cody finished his story. Nothing will top this because these are the greatest 5 minutes in WWE history. It's the best moment ever. There are 7 nominations for the Breakout Star of the Year. First up is Jacob Fatu. As mentioned earlier, there was a lot of excitement for his WWE run before he even showed up. He showed us that he's going to be a dominant force for years to come. Trick Williams has been on a generational NXT run. He is ready for the main roster, and I predict that he will be very successful. Tiffany Stratton went from the NXT champion to soon-to-be Women's WWE champion in 1 year. Tiffy time will run the WWE Women's Division for the next decade. Braun Breaker quickly captured the IC Championship after joining the main roster earlier this year, and he's shown us that he's going to be a dominant world champion in 1 or 2 years. And the last nominee is Solo Sikoa, who wins this award. Earlier this year, this man was on a 41 match losing streak, but after becoming the leader of the Bloodline, he completely revamped his character and became a serious threat. Solo has been an important piece of the main event scene for the year of 2024. It's been a breakout year for him. The next award is the best female wrestler of 2024. There's the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. This is her most successful year yet. Then there's Rhea Ripley, who started off the year as a champion. Unfortunately, an injury put her on the sidelines for a little bit, but despite that, she returned and has been in the main event scene of the women's division for the entire year. You can make the case that Nia Jax is the best female of the year. I never thought I would say that, but she seriously improved in that ring and has quietly put on a very good run. Not only is Tiffany Stratton a nominee for Breakout Star of the Year, but she also earns a nomination for the best female wrestler of 2024. Bayley is the last nominee for this award because of her storyline with Io Sky, as well as her championship run. The best women's wrestler of 2024 goes to Liv Morgan. To completely transform your career, become a highlight of Raw every single week with Dom, and then win the Women's World Championship is more than enough to win this award. And now we have the last award, which is the best male wrestler of the year. There are 7 nominees. First is Roman Reigns. He started the year with his historic title reign coming to an end. He then returned as a babyface, and he's been feuding with his family since. Then there's the WWE champion who finished his story. Cody Rhodes also had many great title defenses. Drew McIntyre just had his best year of his career. His feud with CM Punk was something special. Speaking of CM Punk, he's another nominee. Punk proved all the haters wrong. He can still go and he can still tell the best stories. Seth freaking Rollins also earns a spot on this list for his world title run. On top of that, he was also involved in many great feuds and had the best matches of the year. Gunther is currently the world heavyweight champion and is also a nominee for the best wrestler of 2024. He finished his record-breaking IC title run. He's also on a fun run as the world champion. And finally, we have the final boss who made wrestling cool again in the beginning of the year. The Rock was actually going to be the winner of this award. During his run, he literally got everyone watching from a week-to-week basis. He made a press conference must-see TV. Sadly, he does not win just because it was too short of a run. Therefore, the winner, who's been the most consistent wrestler of the year, is Drew McIntyre. 2024 was a huge year for him, and I expect an even bigger 2025 where he wins some gold. Anyways, that is it for this video, guys. Here's some other ones I think you might enjoy.
I enjoyed watching Drew this year. Like, he is one of my favorites. Okay, so my feelings on 2024. My favorites this year was Drew, Gunther. Oh my God, I love Gunther this year. That whole story. What else? Solo was really good. He was one of my favorites. And I feel like there's a fourth, but I can't think of one right now. But right now, those are my favorite this year. Who are all like heels, basically. All my favorites. Like, do I have a face? I don't know. I think I just like all the heels. I only have heels that I like. I don't know. I don't think I have any face. I mean, like Jay. Okay, like I like Jay. Jay is Jay. I like Jay. Yeah, I like Jay. As far as like his story and his character or whatever, but as far as like the other 3 that I mentioned, those 3 really stood out to me, and I like. I know a lot of people said they like WrestleMania, but for me, my favorite pay-per-view is definitely Backlash. Backlash, the energy at Backlash France was so high. It felt so good because of the crowd. The crowd treated every single match like it was the main event, and I loved that. Like, that energy, you cannot ignore that, the way that felt. When Naomi came out, I love how they treated Naomi's theme. Like, you know, Naomi's theme is like like a high energy, pump your fist, clubby kind of like theme or whatever. And they definitely delivered when she came out. Like they were excited. Um, but other than that, the crowd or whatever, the main event between Cody and AJ, I really freaking love that match. And like he mentioned in his video, the chemistry between them two was so good. I was not expecting for that chemistry to be that good. And I was like, "Oh my god. Like this is how a main event is supposed to feel." Um I would have to say WrestleMania for me lost some points with that whole Jimmy and Jay match. I did not like that match. That match was boring as fuck. Um, so yeah, but overall, out of all the pay-per-views this year, Backlash, my favorite because of how the crowd treated it. And it was so electric and it came through because I just watched it on screen, so I felt their energy through the screen or whatever. Oh yeah, and then something that he did not mention, the turns or whatever. So one of my favorite turns this year was uh damage control, or what happened in damage control when when Io and Kyrie pretty much just turned on that girl. I love the way they executed it, and how it was revealed, like with Bailey hearing them talk about her or whatever, in the locker room, and then her confronting them on the show in front of everybody, and her basically saying like, "I know y'all been talking about me," and then the whole twist of her like speaking their language, like she understood everything that they were saying about her the whole time, because the other girl, I can't think of her name right now, but the one with the brace on her knee or some shit, she was kind of like playing like it was cool or whatever. Like they weren't plotting against her, while Io and Kyrie was like speaking in their language, and like Bailey was pretty much just playing along with it, like she didn't understand, like she was playing naive that whole time. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, "Oh my god, girl, Bailey, like wake up, turn around, like they about to stab you in your back." But the fact that she revealed on the show in front of everybody on that SmackDown episode that she understood what they were saying the whole time, and then they turned around and they jumped her. To me, the way they executed it was so good. That has to be one of my favorite storylines this year. Um, the Bloodline storyline is another one that I really liked. How I kind of like predicted Solo, how he was gonna like, turn and take over. I kind of like knew that was gonna happen, but I love the way that they did it. And then another one, damn, I got plenty, because Drew was really good. The whole Drew and Punk story was really good. And then Gunther. Gunther was just amazing. I like Gunther because of like how he pretty much kind of like bullies everybody. He treats them like they're little men. And like seeing how he was like treating the Miz, watching him like bully the Miz was so fun to me. I was like, yes, bully him some more. But yeah, Gunther was one of my favorites this year as well. What else happened this year? So much happened this year. Like there are a lot of energies. There were a lot of injuries, a lot of amazing storylines, and I like the fact that it wasn't just focused. The quality of stories wasn't just solely focused on the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody ate. Everybody ate. And it was really entertaining this year. And I chose the perfect time to come back and watch, because a lot of fans, we take breaks. If it starts to get a little bit stale, we're like, "Oh, okay, I'm kind of losing interest." The fact that I came back when it was like peaking, like going crazy, I'm like, "Oh shit, this is really fucking entertaining." I mean, it had its moments, which is like normal, but they really snapped with all the different storylines. It was very engaging, entertaining as fuck. Like I said, Backlash, my favorite pay per view. Um, the story with Bailey and Damage Control and all of that, them imploding, was really good. Everybody did their thing this year, and I'm excited to see what 25 does, because if they're able to pull this off and do it so well, it was so well executed. I'm just excited to see what they do next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully it doesn't just like, hopefully it doesn't die down. So yeah, 2024 for me was a very satisfying year. It had its bad moments, like the women's war games was not all that. Oh, and then another thing I didn't really care for was what's his name? The match with Gunther and Sami Zayn. I didn't really care for that match neither. Like, I didn't care for that, honestly. It was cool or whatever, but I didn't really care for it. So it wasn't all peaches and cream, but for me, it was more positive, good moments, entertainment moments than like, you know what I'm saying? So I really enjoyed 2024. Leave some likes and comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me your favorite moments. Tell me some moments that you really didn't care about. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. Toodles.